Welcome to Santos Brothers Eats.
Food worth mentioning.
Okay, well, welcome back to Santos Brothers Eats, and my brother, Chef Jeff, is back from his road trip. If you guys remember, it was Dylan last time, and Dylan was a stand-in just because Jeff was on a road trip, and he drove actually all the way out to New Brunswick, and so here he is with us. Welcome back, Jeff.
Thanks, Ken, and thanks to Dylan for filling in. I'm pretty sure you guys had a great conversation. I can't wait to hear it. This should be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. We decided to, talk a little bit about some of your food adventures because, you did a road trip. You drove all the way out there, did some visiting, and you probably ate some food that was worth mentioning.
I did, in fact. So as Ken mentioned, I went to New Brunswick, and for those of you who aren't Canadian, New Brunswick is the province that's second from the east of Ontario. So we actually drive from Ontario through Quebec and then to New Brunswick. And Quebec is the French-speaking part of Canada, and they have a great food scene there. But one of the particular foods that we had was poutine. And yes, we talked about poutine with smoked poutinery, but I'm talking about authentic Quebec poutine. So poutine was actually invented in Quebec. There are actually two small towns that are arguing who had it first. I'm just recalling it now, but we'll have it later on. And I know I mentioned this before in our first podcast, but poutine is fresh cut fries, cheese curds. I know some people just put ordinary cheese and they call it poutine, but authentic poutine, as they pronounce it, the correct pronunciation, poutine, is cheese curds. And they have to be the squeaky cheese curds, or else it's not poutine at all. And then a nice flavorful gravy, and that's authentic poutine.
And that's a dark gravy. This is not,
yes, it is.
Yeah, this is a dark gravy. This is not like country gravy or chicken gravy. This is a dark, nice dark gravy. And then, is it typical? Do they use Oka cheese, Jeff? Is that like authentic, or that has nothing to do with it?
No. Yeah, authentic is the cheese curds.
Curd, okay.
So there are some purists that will only eat the authentic poutine, but of course, a lot of restaurants out there, they want to make a name for themselves, or they want to get out there, so they do like a hybrid, or they try to modernize poutine, and good for them. So that's what actually I wanted to have, a traditional authentic poutine. And then also have one that was a bit more modernized, or a fusion poutine. So we went on various websites to look for the best poutine in Quebec City. And a lot of names came up, Chez Ashton, Chez Victor, Le Chic Shack, and the snack bar Saint Jacques. We've settled on Frite Alors, and it's means a lot of fries. Basically, frite is basically French for French fries, and alors means it's like a cheer, like alors or allons-y. So it's like a cheer for a lot of fries, or cheer for fries, basically.
Nice.
So that's where we chose Frite Alors, because they had authentic poutine and they had a good selection of other various poutines as well. And
so they had the traditional available, but then they had like different varieties. Like for example, they would have.
So they had one we had was sorry for the delay. I'm trying to call back the menu.
Okay, so while Jeff's looking at that, okay,
yeah,
I've looked this up, and so Frite Alors, which is how it's pronounced, if you want to use a nice French accent, they use a specific type of fries. It looks like they're using Belgian fries.
Yes.
Why that's important is that it's a crispier fry. I remember when I went to Belgium, and it still might be like this today, is that I would see a lot of just people walking around with huge cones of fries, and it was like a parfait of fries with mayonnaise and fries and mayonnaise in this giant paper cone. And the fries there are delicious. And if you think fries and mayonnaise is kind of weird, I invite you to try it, because I often do that. When I have fries and mayonnaise is available, I'll probably dip them in there, and I don't hesitate when I do that. So they're using a Belgian fry, and then just kind of like in that tradition, they use a lot of different mayonnaises and sauces. And I'm looking at their menu now. They're putting from mayonnaise to Dijon to tartar sauce to maple barbecue. There's Mexican lime. There's like a lime mayonnaise, a bacon maple. There's all these. There's even an aioli. We talked about aioli before.
Yeah, we did.
Remind you guys what's aioli. It's a garlic oil infusion. There's a house mayonnaise called, it's just named after the restaurant, called Frite Alors. Pistou rosé. What's pistou rosé? I don't know what pistou is.
Rosé means pink. Pistou, I got to check that up as well.
They have a béarnaise sauce. They have an American. I have a feeling that American might be what's known as fry sauce. So the advantage of me, I used to live in the States, and they nickname fry sauce. It's a mixture of ketchup and mayonnaise together. Kind of interesting. And then they even have a remoulade. And I've only heard of that word like on cooking shows, but I'm sure that Jeff will enlighten us on what remoulade is.
Yes, I apologize. Remoulade is basically the mayonnaise. It's similar to tartar sauce, but they add a bit of curry and even add some pickles or horseradish, just to make it a bit more. It's just like a tartar sauce. So sort of American tartar sauce is basically mayonnaise and relish mixed in. But a remoulade, I guess that's the original tartar sauce, and it's a bit more fancy. It's a fresh mayonnaise, and to that they add like authentic pickles or some horseradish just to spice it up, capers. Anything to add to it is basically like a remoulade.
Excellent.
That's my understanding of it.
So now we've learned something new here. And I am, I don't know if Jeff's already seen this, but I'm already looking at the menu here. For, all the different poutines they have.
Yes.
They have this, and the one that sticks out to me is called La Menace Nucléaire. It's like the nuclear menace. And I'm just imagining just everything. Even if there was a description, it might be in French, and I'm not the best French reader. So,
actually, that's the funny thing. Like, that was the one that we wanted to get originally.
Okay.
But unfortunately, they crossed it off the menu. So we couldn't have it. And so in Le Menace Nucléaire, it's actually named after the Korean leader.
Oh, I'm looking at that. Yeah.
Kim Jong. Yeah. So it's minced beef, bulgogi sauce, which we talked about before, kimchi, shallots, and roasted sesame. So that's the one we wanted to get originally, but when we got there, it was already crossed off the menu.
I will say this, is that if you guys remember our very first episode, was that the first one where we talked about smokes?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Talked about smokes. I remember I said, I'm not a huge poutine super fan. If I never have it for the rest of my life, I'll be perfectly happy. But the actual poutine that when Jeff asked me what I wanted the Korean, and this sounds like a lot like it.
It is
very similar. So what did you end up having?
So along with the traditional, or the Vladimir as they call it, I didn't think it was the traditional one, the classic one, but it was, and it's actually named after. It's called Trump's favorite, and then I realized, of course, named after Vladimir Putin. And I thought, oh well. We
That's
actually got
funny.
Yeah, I know. We got the La Pork Effoulache, or Effoulache. I know I'm butchering the French language. We apologize. And basically, it's pulled pork, grilled onions in the maple leaf barbecue sauce.
That sounds good.
And yeah, it was. The sauce, because I had the traditional, I had the original sauce, but then with the pork one, the maple barbecue sauce just brought it up to another level, because the deftness of the sauce itself, the pulled pork was in the sauce and the grilled onions. Yeah, that really made. So
the onions, were those caramelized?
Yes, they were.
So I want to bring us back to almost just about every single episode when Jeff talks about the food that he likes. It's not a surprise that he would pick this particular poutine, because there's that sweet and savory mix that the Santos brothers love to eat. And so, the maple bacon, not maple bacon, but maple barbecue sauce.
Maple barbecue, yeah.
And then, and pulled pork is already inherently has some sweetness to it. So, and of course, now, did that still have the gravy, or did the kind of the barbecue replace the gravy?
No, the barbecue sauce replaced the gravy itself.
Gotcha. Okay, it makes more sense. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And then it of course had the squeaky cheese on it, right?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Nice.
But yeah, like Ken mentioned, the menu, there's lots that we had that we wanted to try, but we just and they are very generous portions. I must say that. Like we got the medium or the regular size, and we actually had, when we shared both the traditional and the pork one, we had enough for the next day dinner.
Oh wow!
It was a good portion of each. It was good, and they actually and everything there was done fresh. So we got there and put our order in, and we actually saw them take the par cut fries, put them into the deep fat fryer for us, and then he had the beef. He just had the beef. He cooked the beef fresh, added the sauce to it, and everything else. And then within about 10 minutes, it was done. So it wasn't like a fast food fry at all.
So basically cooked your. And when you said beef, you meant pork, right?
Pork. I apologize. You're right.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah. No, sorry. Yeah. Well, sorry. The pulled pork. So he just reheated it on the flat top, and then it was good to go.
What I mean, I'm looking at here, and you could probably eat here for 2 weeks straight and have a different poutine every single day.
Yeah.
Or pretty close to that. What other ones did you want to try?
Well, we wanted the Menace Nucléaire. The La Canard duck, which is basically just shredded duck in I think that's the dark chicken gravy or dark poultry gravy, if I'm correct, or maybe just the traditional gravy as well. The one that
looks good.
Yeah, the one that disappointed me was the General Tao one, because it used chicken nuggets, and I was like, really?
Oh, that's too bad. That's
chicken nuggets? I'm like, I don't know about that one. Maybe it's good for the kids, but I myself, I wouldn't want to have that myself. I was like, nah, I'll skip that one.
I would, looking at the menu, I would go for either the taco one. The one's called La Tacos and La Mexican. I didn't look at the descriptions for them, but I'm always up for that. And then I know that Jeff isn't a big fan, but I would try. Oh, I just saw it. Where is it?
The Montreal?
Yeah, the Montreal one.
Because, I knew you would. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd try that one. But there's a lot of different ones, and whoever took those pictures, they did a really, really good job.
Oh yeah, they did.
Let's get a rating for the traditional. Just a traditional poutine out of 10. What would you rate it?
So unfortunately, we're still in the pandemic, so we couldn't eat in the restaurant, and it was a rainy day, so their patio was closed. So we had to take it to go, and then we found a small little parquet. And just finished raining, so the small little parquet, so we had to wipe down the tables and get it. So by the time we got there, it wasn't as hot as it should be, but still the sauce was good. The cheese was just slightly melting, just slightly, because it's cheese curds, they don't really melt per se, but the flavor, I give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Just because of those reasons. Like, I'm sure that when they fully open or have the patio open, they'll bring it back. And
what about the pulled pork one?
Pulled pork one, again, 8 out of 10, again, because of the time difference. I found it a bit dry, the pork itself. I think it just needed a bit more of the barbecue sauce to it, just to make sure that it was still moist. I just found it a tad dry for my liking. Yeah. So again, but 8 out of 10, the flavor was still there. It's a bit dry for me, but so 8 out of 10 again.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And I just got to mention this one. This one just popped out at me because I just realized the name. It's called La Pikachu.
Yes.
I'm feeling it has something to do with the, Pikachu.
That's right. Yes. And that one has the, let's see, where's that one there?
Chicken, crispy chow mein noodles, shallots, cashews, and teriyaki sauce. Actually sounds pretty good. Yeah.
It does. I'm finding that the crispy noodles are I don't know, maybe a thing, because I know Burrito Boys or Fat Bastards has crispy ramen noodles in their menus now, and I'm like, oh, when did that become popular? And then now they have it here in Poutines. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and I should clarify for those of you that have never heard of it before, Fat Bastard is a burrito place. So
yeah,
if you just kind of just yell it out there, that is a place. I don't know. It's probably all over Toronto. Like, I don't know. I imagine there's probably 5 or 6 of them around, right?
Yeah. Oh, there's lots of
lots. Okay, there's more than that. Yeah. So
yeah.
Exactly right. A couple locations, and I've only eaten there the one time.
So what was funny is that when we got our poutine, we usually like our fries with gravy, and we were discussing, should we ask for gravy or would that be considered a sin? So we just said no to asking for gravy. But then when when we got back to started eating, Diana mentioned that they did have different mayonnaises, and we said, oh, we should have got some of those mayonnaise instead. And so we're just kicking ourselves for not getting the mayonnaise, but that's okay. Live and learn. It's one of those things that, next time we're in Quebec, we'll make sure to try a different place, but then ask for some mayonnaise as well, just to get it up there, elevate it more.
Talking a little bit about mayonnaise, I don't know if have you ever eaten at the Beer Bistro, Jeff?
I have, yeah.
So
a long time ago.
They actually offer a Belgian fries on their appetizer menu that comes with, I think, 3 different in-house made mayonnaise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's they're Belgian fries that are you'll like this. They're deep fried in duck fat.
Oh, yes.
So, and it's very inexpensive. It's like $6 for a large cone.
Yeah.
And so I remember going there with some like when before pre-pandemic during the summers, we would go there and we would just all get fries and beers and just hang out on their patio, and it was just good times. So yeah. That's Beer Bistro. That's the one we go to is on like King and Yonge.
Yeah, King and Yonge. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, I remember you mentioning you went to Belgium for the Belgian fries. I actually we were in Amsterdam, Diana and I, and we also got Belgian fries there. And yeah, it was small little place for like a little hole in the wall, but it was crowded, so we knew it'd be good. So we had them, and it's like, wow, yeah, big difference from regular French fries or that we know here in Canada.
So they come in the paper cone?
Paper cone. They have mayonnaise on the side. And Frite Alors as well in Quebec City was basically just off like 2 side streets from the main street. It was just like, we said, where's this place? And there it was. Like, it wasn't on the main street at all. And they were busy. Like we luckily got there a half hour before they closed, and there were already like still 4 people in line waiting, and then 2 people behind us waiting for their order as well. So we're like, okay, I guess we got here a good time. It's good.
If you ever, this is in Quebec City. Is this where this place is?
Yeah.
This has got to be like, to me, this guy, like, you got to stop here. Like, I'm just looking at the menu, and like they could probably stand alone on just their fries and poutine and their mayonnaise and sauces, but it looks like they offer burgers and sandwiches and hot dogs and
everything,
all kinds of stuff. So it's a place where you can just get some good eats. Food definitely worth mentioning.
Oh, for sure.
Well, as far as food worth mentioning, we certainly got to hear a lot today about Jeff's road trip and some of the foods that he got to eat, and we do look forward to next time where we talk about more food worth mentioning, right, Jeff?
That is correct. And until next time, remember this quote from Julia Child: people who love to eat are always the best people.
And that, of course, includes my brother, Chef Jeff Santos. And, of course, I'm his brother, Kenny Santos. And you as well, if you love to eat food worth mentioning. Thanks a lot, everybody.
All right. Have a good day.
You've been listening to Santos Brothers Eat.
Food worth mentioning.